course, Ryan Murphy, we talk about him all the time, but Ryan Murphy is doing his new American Love Story now. First season coming out, and it's, of course, about JFK Jr. And people have been saying excited about their shooting right now. We've seen all the cast. We talked about it on KRUSE Control. Comes out in February of 2026. It's not that far away. Now, if you're wondering, do the Kennedys have their approval on this? Well, apparently not, because Jack Schlossenberg came forward. Now, he is also talking about this family, about how they didn't really approach the family at all about this. He's like, why did no one talk to us? Why didn't we have this conversation? Ryan Murphy's just going to do this, never consulted, never had any kind of conversation, and there's really not much the family could do. That's what he said, because he said that the way that New York City works, where they're actually shooting this right now, is New York City doesn't protect the right of privacy for a person after their death. And it includes the ability to control your own name or your image or your likeness. Adding that, he said this too. It says it's a matter that he's considered a public figure. That's why there's not much they can do about this. So Ryan Murphy has all the rights to say whatever he wants with this show. And it doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, there's nothing that can stand up. The family can shut it down. But here's my thing. Ryan Murphy always takes these big stories and kind of dives into them in his own way. He makes a little twist a little bit. He does tell his own narrative. Happened with, again, American Crime Story. He's done it with the Monica Lewinsky story. He did it, of course, Menendez brothers. He's been very much involved, and he kind of has his own twists and turns. But I would think, JFK Jr. is such a big political kind of thing. You would think he would have had some kind of say or talking to the family, something. I would have thought, but then again, Ryan Murphy does what he wants to do. So it doesn't shock me, but I kind of wish he would have talked to him, because this is really a big story. It's a big tragedy. A lot of people probably even know at this age what happened to him. There's probably a lot of people that have forgotten or just too young to know. And I think that Ryan Murphy always shines a light on these situations and kind of rewrites the narrative. So I kind of wish he had more family involvement. I wish it would have been nice, but we love some of his stuff, but it's over dramatized. That's what TV is sometimes. Valarie, I know you love Ryan Murphy. So I know when I mentioned this before, you were super excited. Does this actually cause you any kind of what? Or are you actually super excited and want to see Ryan Murphy's take on JFK Jr.?
I'm so excited. But I'm also Ryan Murphy, please just don't ruin this for me, because I have such a this has been one of my niche celebrity obsessions. I have a very deep love for Carolyn Bessette, and she is on every single one of my Pinterest boards since the dawn of time. That woman was so gorgeous. I don't know how to feel about who they cast as her, because she just has such a specific look. I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's hard to replicate that on an actress. I feel she just had a very unique vibe about her. I don't know. I love Carolyn Bessette, but I'm very excited. I just hope Ryan Murphy can do this justice. Please do this justice. I love the story of them.
And they're saying a love story, so maybe this won't be in line with what he's normally done with some of his other things. So maybe this could be more of a romantic kind of story. Think that's even possible in Ryan Murphy's repertoire?
No, but maybe.
Someone's going to be some kind of blood and gore, right?
Yeah, it'll be something. I know that they did have a relatively tumultuous relationship. And I do think it's insane that they can just talk about this and not approach any of the family members. That's when, Seth Rogen or whoever did the Pam and Tommy show and didn't even remotely approach Pam Anderson about it. And I will not watch it because of that. So I don't know, maybe I shouldn't watch this, because Jack Schlossberg, that's my husband. I love him. If he's looking for a wife, please Jack, please come get me. I'm here.
Come on. Well, I think we'll see how this turns out, Val. I'm interested to see how it plays out too. I like a lot of stuff he does, so hopefully it works out. GR, do you see any kind of drama happening here? I think people might give him some backlash for not actually talking to the Kennedys. And then Schlossberg is actually JFK's nephew, so that's JFK OG. Or grandson, not nephew, grandson. JFK Jr.'s grandson, or nephew, grandson to JFK. What? Oh, we can't hear you, GR. Can't hear you, GR.
Oh, you're muted.
GR, where you at, man?
Turn it on.
Can't hear you, GR. Can't hear you.
I really wish Jack.
Now you can.
Fine, you're
Whoa.
muted.
There he is. There he is.
And in answer to your question, this could have some very adverse effects. The Kennedys, I don't care what, I'm not a big Democratic person, as you well know, Brian, but they are, if they're royalty in this country, the Kennedys are it politically. And he could shoot himself in the ass with this. If he puts anything that's derogatory to JFK Jr., they'll eat his lunch.
But they can't really. I mean, the thing is, like even like the grandson of JFK was saying that, like, we really can't say anything because of New York laws. So do you think that they'd have any kind of ramifications?
They got enough money. They don't give a shit what you can do. They just say he's toast.
I mean,
and guess what? He'd be toast.
Yeah, they're kind of political royalty in a lot of ways too, the Kennedys. And it's interesting though, because I think this is a big step for Ryan Murphy going into like this love story genre. It's a lot different than what he's normally done. So maybe he'll do it delicately and nice. You never know.
If he does, they probably won't bitch too much about it. But if he doesn't, he's shooting himself in the foot.
Well, no one's perfect.
And
it's true. No one is perfect, Pep Star.
Well, some of us are, but we don't talk about it much.
Angela, do you think that's kind of the route? You think that they could really he could be in hot trouble if he does something wrong? Or do you think that people are just going to love this and there'll be no drama at all when this comes out? Like Valerie's kind of excited about it too. But do you think that you leave it GR or Valerie on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the Kennedy family. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to get... If it's portrayed where, I mean, even if he puts his own take on it, it's going to, I mean, if it, like GR is saying, I do think if it's like people are already so in tune with that family, right? I mean, political, like royalty, right? So it's pretty much, if you start saying stuff that doesn't seem accurate, and when even if it's a show, right, people still are like, yeah, that's not really how it is. And I mean, like, even Caroline Bissett's like stylist was like on, I think it was like page 6 or whatever. She was talking about how Ryan Murphy got like her look wrong with Sarah for like the first look or something. First looks at like the FX series, and just like how I guess the way that she was styled, everything, it just wasn't really an accurate portrayal of what she looked like necessarily. So he's already, I mean, again, it's not like a biopic, but I mean, we know that he'll have his own take on it. But again, people don't always realize that when it's a series, there's going to be a different, take on things. And I do think, I do think it can backfire a little bit.
Yeah.
But maybe that's what he wants. Maybe it does bring good publicity. I mean, if you're wanting to have people talk about something,
he loves the drama.
It'll definitely start that fire. What?
Yeah, I think he loves the drama too. Like the Menendez brothers. He got so much news for that too. He blew everything up. Even the Dahmer one too really blew things with Evan Peters, which I love that.
Well, he just knows where he's targeted, and he's figured out where he needs to go with to make his stories, his treatments, all this stuff. He knows what to hit. He knows what topics are going to fly, what's going to be what. You know what I mean? He's got it down. He's got it down to a science. It's just a matter. So I think he knows. He's I think this is somewhat relatively calculated with this guy.
Do you think this will be as big as what he's done before, though? This is the first time doing an American Love Story. Think those will be as big?
I mean, look at what he did with the Menendez brothers. That was pretty wild. Like that. Look up. We talked about that for how long? I mean,
I know. They're still coming out.
And look at what the aftermath was. Like there was, there's clearly he likes to hit these specific types of stories. So I mean, very huge ones, obviously. Like these are big in our culture or whatever. So yeah, I think that. This is a really sad story too. I mean, that's a sad story as well, but I'm just saying, like, the way that these two died is, in a plane crash. And I don't know. I don't know how he's going to like portray the romance. I mean, they weren't really, back when in the 90s when we were growing up and stuff, it wasn't like, I was obviously young and stuff, but at the time it's just, no one talked exclusive. Oh, hey, Robert Kennedy and Carolyn Bessette all the time. You didn't really like, it wasn't massively talked about because I was so young. It wasn't like a big topic of conversation between us. It was sort of like, oh, you'd see a picture in a magazine with them, like walking to some sort of extravagant, fashion show or a luncheon or something. I mean, here and there. It wasn't, they weren't like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or something, the way people were talking about them, right? So it was just more of like it's Robert Kennedy's son and his beautiful wife, right? Like, okay. I mean, some socialites and political figures. It wasn't like major stars that you were seeing. So I think it had a little bit of a different like effect.
Yeah. And like, I know people are saying in the chat, they don't, some people haven't heard of them before, but of course, they were like this big celebrities, but they weren't. I mean, it was a weird kind of telltale thing. There's also controversy. There's also a lot of controversy. We can always do well for Ryan Murphy. Some people think that he's still alive. Some people think he's still alive, like JFK Jr. still walking around out there. They thought he was like the QAnon guy.
Tell me where he is if you see him.
Yeah, I know, right? People were saying he was going to come back.
The biggest news outlet and like entertainment outlet in the world.
There were people
Let me know. If we don't have it, then I'm pretty sure it's not anywhere.
There were people in Texas.
Well, Elvis is still alive too,
I know, but there were people in Texas that were like waiting for him to appear or something like that. I'm like, he's not going to appear. This man died in a plane crash. I just don't understand that. But and I love what Angela, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, is he the guy that just walked away from that really tragic flight in was it London or something that crashed? And one guy walked away out of two. Is that what they're trying to think JFK Jr. did here? Like, or Robert? Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
I think a lot of the people, Brian, in the chat are confused. Guys, this isn't the president we're talking about. This is his son.
That's my point. This is exactly what people don't really know that's where it's going to be confusing maybe. It's kind of like almost geared for a specific, this is going to be really specific for people who like know who these people are. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of...
Which is why I don't know how well it'll do. I can't imagine it'd be a big hit, but I want to see it. It's fascinating. Maybe it'll blow that up though more too.
I think it'll do well because
I can already feel it in my bones. Every single picture of Carolyn Bessette is going to be just, I can't gatekeep her style anymore from the other Gen Zers. I know I can't. She's going to be out there.
She was kind of like that.
They'll be dressing as them for Halloween, probably. People be doing Halloween costumes, maybe. And then like they'll maybe bring it to a new generation. Pep Star, I saw Pep Star. You said it might be exciting. You think they might do well?
I think it might do well because of who he is, the family, and the tragedy that happened. Flying that plane and getting, I can't remember the word. Is it dysphagia when you're flying up and you kind of lose yourself? Plus, he had maybe a glass or two of wine while he was flying the plane, and he kind of got twisted around, and whatever happened. But I think it will do well because people want to know what happened, and it's an interesting story.
Yeah, I think they might try to play on some of the drama too, Pep Star, and some of the controversy. There's a lot of controversy here too. And then people, like I said, people think that he's still alive. There's still people that think he's still alive, which is insanity to me. But you know what? Each their own. We live in a world where you guys want to believe what you want to believe. But
that family is just tagged with just like it just seems like they're cursed. I mean, seriously, like the dad, like his father. I mean, how many horrible things can happen to like a family? You know what I mean? It just like constantly, it was like one after the next. You're just like, my gosh, like, do these people get a break?
Well,
I mean, never.
JFK, his older brother died in a horrific accident in World War II. His brother's assassinated also. Yeah. And then his son dies in a tragic plane crash.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they should leave the bloody people alone. Because I don't think, I'll bet 90% of the country has no idea who the hell he is.
I doubt that. I disagree with that at all.
Obviously from the chat, you can already tell.
Oh, maybe that 90% was too high.
Way too high. What are you flipping?
Reasonable percentage of young people that aren't going to know who these people really were. I mean,
I think like Gen Z. Valarie, do you ever hear people that know who they are still?
I think that my For You page has a lot of like stuff about Carolyn specifically. There's always been pictures of them as a couple floating around on Tumblr and on, like little, just on Pinterest. There's always stuff like that. That's how I got to know about the story initially, was like, I would see pictures of them as a couple and like, oh, JFK Jr., Carolyn Bessette, and I started watching like YouTube documentaries about it. And I know that there's definitely any girl who was interested in Carolyn probably knows about the story and what happened to them. Because it's very romanticized through those photos, stuff like that, like they were such a beautiful, like, socialite couple, like Angela was saying. So I think a lot more people my age may know about it just from those, like, just timeless images of them,
You surprised me when you told me, when you even said her name, that you like, I was like, really? I'm like, it shocked me that you even knew who she was. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that you know what I mean? Just based on how young you are, I didn't realize that you knew who she was. So that kind of took me back a little bit. So I guess maybe if you do, then definitely, probably there is there's definitely, population out there.
And he's a great looking guy.
Girls,
Yeah.
yeah, he's very handsome.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, R.I.P. to them both, though. I think they were a fantastic story, and I hope it works out. I hope it works out where Ryan Murphy does him justice, right? I hope he does.
I really think he's gonna play up all of the really tumultuous parts of their relationship, because I've watched so many documentaries about them as a couple at this point, because they're like one of my weird niche interests. But like, there was so much going on with them in terms of just fighting, and they had really opposite, like, type A personalities, and there was like a lot of like alleged like drug use and whatnot. And I think there's a lot, he's going to really play into that. Like, it's going to be a lot darker, even though it's like marketed as like American Love Story. I think it's going to be still very Ryan Murphy, dark, scary, I really do.
Well, that's why I feel like he can't not get away from that. I feel like he's going to have to kind of like lean on that. That's been his genre. So I think he's going to try to find a way to do that. Dude, I would be shocked, Val, if this is like just like a lovely love story about them falling and then like tragedy. I'd be shocked. But maybe he'll do something different. Maybe he will. And maybe everybody will be excited to see.
Really rocky relationship. Like, they had a super rocky relationship. Like, there was a lot there, but a lot of people don't know that, so I think he's really it's gonna be what everybody thinks, a beautiful couple, but like, he's gonna talk about, the getting separate apartments and like, almost breaking up multiple times and not talking for, fighting in Central Park. He's gonna talk about all that stuff, I think.
Every great family has gone through those type of things. I think it's important that he does touch on that.
Yeah, I agree.
They're very romanticized, so it'll be very real and raw, I think.
I hope it's great. We'll find out in February of 2026, but we'll see if the family has any kind of backfire, like GR is saying too. Only time will tell, guys.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pep Star needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.
KRUSE Control.